What's up, guys? I know you've been dying for the next Card Chat video, so without further ado, welcome to Card Chat Episode 6, Wave 1 Cards Are Going Mainstream. Now, mindless task of the day, I keep buying collections and getting all these damn cheap promo cards inconsistently kind of sleeved and stuff, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm just going to take a bunch of them, take out the ones that are double sleeved, and kind of make sure they're all consistently sleeved so they can kind of be organized and I can sell them easier, even though these are hard to sell anyway. But today's topic is really interesting, and the thing that spurred this video was something I noticed recently when I tried to make a purchase off of Big Orbit cards. So Big Orbit cards, I think I mentioned these guys previously. They're a UK-based kind of, not an LGS, but like a trading card store. They're really big. They sell probably like hundreds of thousands of trading card products. They have like Weiss Schwarz, everything. So I've actually been buying off of them for quite a long time, even though I'm based in the US, primarily because they were one of the few big companies that differentiated Wave 1 cards for a select few Final Fantasy TCG cards. So if you checked out their website, you would notice that they kind of separated Wave 1 Squalls, Balafors, Black Belts, Golems, and Riku. So they did understand that the errata existed. The thing that was kind of funny, though, was that the pricing didn't really change much between them. So like they would charge maybe like 30 cents for a Wave 1 Squall, for a Wave 2 Squall, and like 50 cents for a Wave 1 Squall. So the difference was very minute. And for me, that meant they were a tremendous bargain. So for the past several months, I have been buying them out constantly anytime I saw them have any Wave 1 cards in stock. Because basically what they do is they buy out player collections and then they list them at a profit. And for the most part, a lot of the people selling their collections to them didn't care about the Wave 1 cards. They didn't know that they had value. Again, we're in the very early stages of FFTCG still, although it's starting to mature. So a lot of this information wasn't really out there about what cards had value and what cards didn't. So let me tell you a story about what really caught my attention. Recently, they had two Wave 1 Balafors on Big Orbit cards, foil, listed at I think £5 each. I think that's like $7 US or something. So tremendous bargain. So of course I jumped on it and I ordered both of them, and everything went through, and it actually said the order was dispatched, which means that it was shipped out. But then something curious happened. I got a message from one of their customer service guys, and they said that, oh, sorry, there's an issue with the order. It actually turned out to be out of stock, and we have to cancel the order. And I thought, well, that's kind of unusual, because it said that it was dispatched. How could it be out of stock? And then the guy said that, oh, it actually turned out they weren't Wave 1. And this story might be completely true. I'm not necessarily saying that they lied to me, but the curious thing about it was that when I checked the website after they had canceled my order, I noticed that their prices for Wave 1 cards had skyrocketed by like a factor of 10 to 20 to 30. So the Wave 1 Squall, which was previously like, I don't know, like $5, suddenly they had it listed at £150. And the Wave 1 Ramza, which I previously bought, and I'll put up some screenshots to prove the prices I paid for them, suddenly I think they had it at like £100. And then I checked again today, and the craziest thing I noticed was that they actually delisted the Wave 1 Squall, Ramza, Black Belt, Riku, Balafor. They delisted all of the Wave 1 errata. So why the hell would they do that? Why would they actually take it completely out of their system? Because I think they're starting to realize that collectors really want these cards, and they want to stockpile them, kind of get more information on what they think the proper pricing is. And then when they relist them again, I guarantee you they will be at jacked up prices. And I think that's a really important thing, guys. I mean, Big Orbit cards is not a small LGS. These are really big fish. It's almost like if TCG players started listing them or something. Like Big Orbit Cards is a big player, and now if you check out their website, they have something they didn't have before. For Opus 1, they actually have an entire section dedicated to Wave 1 cards now. So they're not just doing the errata anymore. They're actually listing every single card in their inventory as Wave 1. So I don't know if some guy at Big Orbit Cards is watching my videos or if they finally got sick of me asking. Like, I was actually one of the guys, I told you before, I bought them out multiple times. I actually would email them and say, hey, can you guys please go through your entire Opus 1 inventory, find all of the cards with the lower colon placement, and I'll completely buy you out. Like, I had like long ass email threads with them. I mean, I've been buying them out for months. I told you, at the prices that they were offering, I felt like it was a no-brainer. Like, I kept buying them out, and I probably spent hundreds of dollars with them, if not thousands. And yeah, that's a big chunk of my Wave 1, kind of not necessarily errata. They didn't really always have that much errata. But a lot of my Wave 1 collection, in terms of some of the more basic cards with colon placement, a lot of that is from Big Orbit Cards. And I just think it's really interesting that they delisted all of the errata and that they did it after they jacked up the prices, because I think they knew that people were going to notice that. And I think right now all they're going to do is sit on all those errata cards and wait. Like, they keep buying out collections in the UK, especially because UK and Australia seem to have had the largest allocation of Wave 1 cards. I find very few people in the United States that have Wave 1 cards outside of people who bought them from people overseas. So I think Big Orbit Cards knows that if they keep buying out people's collections, they can stockpile Wave 1 cards, and then when they think they're ready, when they think they understand the pricing for the errata, I think they're going to relist them and jack up all the prices. I mean, like I said, I had seen the Squall listed at £150 before they took it down. I don't know if Wayback Machine exists. I don't know if you guys can search up what the store used to look like. But if you guys know something like that, leave it in the comments below. And if you check back maybe 2 weeks or something, you might be able to find the listing page for the Opus 1 Wave 1 Squall, where they had actually listed them at £150. They didn't have any in stock, so if you look at their website, it actually says that everything is out of stock. But I don't know, I think, some people would think that I'd be upset that they canceled my order, but I'm not mad at all, because number one, I trust them because I've worked with them for a while, and even if they did lie to me, no hard feelings. They're a business, they're trying to make money, and maybe they had an error where they intended to take down the listing and then someone had listed it by mistake. But I trust them. I mean, I've worked with them a lot. They've helped me out. They took the time to find the colon things when it wasn't well known. So I can't really be mad about them canceling my order. So ultimately, what they're doing makes me happy. Not necessarily them canceling my order, but the fact that they are giving a lot of visibility to the existence of Wave 1 cards, because not many people can really know about my channel yet. But a lot of people in the UK, like I said, they're one of the biggest players. A lot of people in the UK know about Big Orbit Cards. And they're going to go look for an Opus 1 card and they're going to be like, what the hell is this entirely separate section for Wave 1 cards? What is a Wave 1 card? Do I have any Wave 1 cards in my collection that I didn't know about? And I think what that's going to do is kind of create a boom in people hunting for these collectibles. Like, a lot of you guys are not old enough to remember the early days of Magic the Gathering. Like, no one really knew about alpha cards. No one cared about alpha cards. And the funny thing is, for a while, I think alpha cards were worth less than beta cards because they thought those cards were messed up. Like, the alpha cards are the originals and they have like errors and stuff. And it's just funny how the card game has matured. You actually even hear stories about in the original days of Magic, they used to play, I forget what they called the format, but basically if you lose, like if a card is destroyed, you actually rip up the entire card. I wonder how many people out there have ripped the Black Lotus to shreds, and 20 years later they're thinking, oh my god, what the hell did I do? But the point of this story is to say that Wave 1 cards are going mainstream. In the past, like I said, I bought most of my cards from dealing with people individually, email, telephone, like Facebook Messenger, and kind of explaining to them the differences, and it was a lot of work. But now, 2 years after launch, even the big companies are starting to see the value of Wave 1 cards. And if the big companies start promoting these as rare collectible items, it's going to start really ramping up the demand. Because like I said, I made this channel to kind of give more visibility to FFTCG, the existence of these collectibles, and kind of promote this game. But I'm still small. I'm still way too small. I have like 140 subs or something, like maybe like 10,000 views. I have no idea. But Big Orbit Cards listing this is going to kind of raise awareness of the existence of Wave 1 cards to a level that I can't do myself yet. I mean, hopefully one day this channel blows up and more people find out about it. But for now, someone like Big Orbit Cards or TCG Player, one of these big vendors out there, Cool Stuff Inc., them listing Wave 1 cards does a lot more for increasing awareness than I ever could with my current exposure. So, I guess that's kind of the main points of the video, and I highly recommend that you guys check out Big Orbit Cards just to see what I'm talking about. Maybe in the next few days or weeks, those errata will be listed again, and I am really curious to see what their new prices are going to be. I'll have overlaid screenshots throughout this video of some of the prices I had paid in the past. I got some crazy deals from Big Orbit Cards, including getting like a Wave 1 foil Rams. I think it was like £2 or something. Deals that you can never get again. And I'm just going to see, because if a vendor like Big Orbit Cards starts listing Wave 1 Squalls, that's going to be the benchmark for the price, because that's going to set the lower echelon. So let's say they sell Wave 1 foil Squalls and they relisted at £150. Right now, if you use like Facebook or something, you might be able to find a deal better than that. But once Big Orbit Cards are listed at that price, if they set a buy list, that's going to set the lower limit. Like, it's not going to be under that anymore. So if Big Orbit Cards sells Wave 1 Squalls for £150, I don't know what that is, like 200 US, you will almost never be able to find that card for under 200 US ever again. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do. And it's just kind of showing the overall rise of prices in Final Fantasy TCG cards. Another thing I noticed that you guys might not have, and I might do a whole video about it next time, is that Cloud A001s have basically evaporated from the market. There's one listing that I see for $150, and guess what? Someone bought it. It's not even graded, just ungraded Cloud A001 sold for $150. And remember, a year ago, that guy, I think his name was Stripe, had like 10, 20 of them listed for $89 or something like that. And it took him almost like an entire year to sell out of those. And now that he's gone, the price is just going up, 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 up. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. And let me show you guys something. So I may be stupid. I may be a moron. I might be wrong about everything that's going to happen with Final Fantasy TCG prices. But what I'm not is a liar. I mean, let me move these so I don't knock all these cards over. All right. This is a binder of random errata that I've been collecting over the past few months. So whether or not I'm an idiot, whether or not I'm wrong, whether or not Final Fantasy prices are about to tank, I am putting my money where my mouth is. I have proven that I believe that these prices are going to go up. And I think over the past few months, that's what we've seen. So anyways, I'll end it at that. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the section below. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Card Chats. See you next time.